All right. How was everyone's Easter?
All right.
It was good.
All right. You know what? We come back from the holiday.
That's
and
your third all right.
I know. I can't help it.
I'm going to start keeping track. I'm going to write down your phrases, and I'm just going to sit here and do a little.
So when I did the radio appearance on Wednesday, Wednesday, I was very mindful of saying, no, I killed it. I did pretty good. So.
Killed it.
I am Butler Eagle Sports writer Derek Pida, and here with me today are fellow sports writer Brendan Howe and Eagle Sports editor Jake Murda Adams. This is Season 2 of the Alter Eagles Eye on Sports.
Bailey's family picked on me like the whole day yesterday. Like, he's a star. He's Bob Pompiani. It's like, if I make as much money as Bob Pompiani someday, I'd be happy.
Did you mention our podcast?
I didn't, but they know that. So
no, they don't. The listeners don't.
The
listeners don't.
Look at Derek.
Are you referring to her family or the
family?
The radio show that you were on?
The radio show.
No, I can't plug our podcast.
Oh, that's right. You're coming off from Steelers now, so it's different. It's different. All right. Well, my Easter wasn't really Easter. Didn't go anywhere for Easter. I worked on Easter. But how about you, Derek?
Well, Will and I are lucky enough to have Beth, my wife, his mother, cooking. Made some really good things that we normally don't have just because it was a holiday. But Will
you have Chipotle?
No.
Yeah, speaking of, Brendan, what's that you have there?
Pulled it out of my pocket. I can think...
that's kind of gross.
I can think Nico Baguetta, Amos Glenn. I had Amos Glenn on my team.
You had
right?
Amos Glenn.
Who else? North Catholic kids?
No, I had their whole team.
Yeah, the whole offense.
I forget who else I had, but Corn City kid, right? I don't know. I don't remember, but thank you guys for this.
We finally, after
6 months later,
4 months, paid off this debt.
I think that sour cream is about 4 months outdated, but that's okay.
Tell us what you got, Brendan.
Let's hope not.
What are you eating today as the reward for winning our fantasy football league?
The same order I've had probably the last 247 times I've gone to Chipotle. Well, actually, it's regular white rice instead of double, because I already had some. I had some Goodall's mac and cheese earlier, actually, when I woke up.
Not sponsored.
I had that. Neither's Chipotle, so
that's what we're working on, though.
But that double steak, queso, cheese, sour cream, and then I got some
double steak
Tabasco here if you want to drink.
I gotta go light on the Tabasco, man. I love regular hot sauce, but Tabasco has a distinct taste to it.
He brings
it really does.
He brings the bag into the studio earlier because we had to have Brendan order this because it was not working for me on the app for some reason. We don't know why. And he gets the dish out, he gets his drink out, and then he brings the Tabasco sauce out. And I'm like, what the heck is that? He's just carrying Tabasco sauce in his Chipotle bag.
Didn't you recently overdo it with the Tabasco sauce and you gave yourself a stomach ache for like the rest of the night? You told me that when you came into the office.
It's possible.
Yeah, you said you doused it. You put like half a bottle of Tabasco on it. And the whole night you're like sitting at your computer like, oh.
with those noises. We
went to Sam's Club the other night. I didn't have a stomach ache after that.
I got a question for you. Had you won, what would you be eating right now?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, good question.
Some sort of tofu or something.
Some sort of tofu? What makes you think it would be okay, why let's examine this for a moment. Why is that the assumption?
I feel just
yoga.
Why tofu? You do yoga, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like tofu goes in line with yoga and like the whole health craze of things, right?
Okay, so Mallory and I have not made this in quite some time, but we got into this kick for about 2 or 3 years where every couple weeks we would make this sweet and sour tofu rice.
I knew it.
So it's sweet and sour chicken,
but
it's sweet and sour tofu, and it's so good. Like, awesome to make. We had a lot of fun making it.
I thought about you guys the other day. I was making something for dinner. I said, I haven't had this in a while, and I was like, maybe I should pull Mallory and just like make something that I really like and then just eat it like every day.
She does that so often.
Yeah, you said that.
She will, but if we make something together, which is like a meal that we're both going to split, she will have one day of leftovers for it and then never touch it again. So I've got to eat the leftovers for like 4 or 5 more days. But if she makes something that's just specifically for her, she'll make it over and over and over.
I wonder why that is.
Again.
What's the?
Because we have to compromise. So if we make something together, it's usually balancing like her obsession with cheese and pasta related dishes with my.
Let's go, Mallory. That's good.
Yeah, this was your balanced meal last week.
Did you tell her about the protein pasta and Parmesan cheese and butter? I'm sure she'd love it. There you go.
If it was me, had I won, but of course I ended up like 360 points behind you guys. I would be eating right now 2 or 3 hot dogs from Sheetz, double nacho cheese on all of them, jalapenos and onions.
I should have rigged the game. Derek was a lot cheaper.
And you can get three of those hot dogs for like literally $6.
Not even the hot dog shop?
I haven't been to the hot dog shop in a long time.
That's where you should get your hot dogs from.
I might get.
Do they have jalapenos?
I'm sure that they do. I'm going to find out.
I would have either gotten something from Condado's because that would have been easy to eat like Chipotle is, or I would have asked you guys or Laura to, well, I should say all of you guys for recommendations for someplace local around here to try that I haven't tried yet, and then just gone with that.
What's the
I don't understand your hand gestures.
How about-
yeah. Are you doing like Italian, Mexican?
Oh no, I would just. What do you guys recommend?
A place that I think could sponsor us is, you ever been to Chop Shop? I know Derek has been to
Yes,
Chop Shop
once.
together.
Oh yeah, they're getting ready to open that brewery too.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I went-
They're going where Butler Brew Works was.
They're moving.
Oh.
No, they're not moving. They're opening another location, and that's going to be their.
I went
It's like
there.
the same owner.
I
Hey,
went
Chop
there-
Shop, our fall live show.
Oh, that would
Let's
be
talk.
cool. That'd be sick. I went there on a double date on Saturday night, and I get the same thing there every time too.
Who was that?
That was a noise.
Who was that? And was that you into the mic? While you were
not
talking,
me.
you
It might
had.
have just
He is the one eating right now.
I mean,
No, I had the same thing. I did
that's
the
the
same thing there
ASMR
too.
that we're looking for.
I think it was his
Stop.
stomach.
That
I
was
get-
something.
You can like build your own burger there. You can get mac and cheese on it, and they have buffalo blue cheese mayonnaise. It's the only place I know that has it like combined. Delicious.
I do not.
Dude,
like
they have a strawberry milkshake.
Their milkshakes are good.
That literally comes with one of those strawberry crunch ice cream bars stuck in it.
We need to set up a camera pointed just at Laura, just so that way when she starts getting really animated and the hand gestures she makes, it's just like she's doing sign language or like interpretive dancing.
Well, that's why we're looking for sponsors
anybody-
so
Set it
I
up.
can get some more cameras.
Does anybody remember the old Howard Stern show? The old one.
bits
Yes.
and pieces.
She's
I never
Robin
really,
Quivers. She's like off in the corner.
With
She's
Beetlejuice.
Robin
Dude,
Quivers.
I want to be on Howard Stern. I would love to be.
What about
in-
Beetlejuice? You know Beetlejuice on Howard Stern?
No.
No.
Wait, what? What you talking about?
I never really listened to
Tell us. What?
XM radio, so I only would see occasional
I don't know how
clips
to. I
go
don't know how to
viral.
describe him.
Was it Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice?
No,
Is
no,
that what we're
it's-
talking about?
it's-
Like
no.
Beetlejuice or
No, it's
who?
like
The
the meme. He
character name,
goes.
yeah.
It's a meme. He goes
Oh.
like Beetlejuice. What is he? He goes. I think it's a carrot.
Oh.
I don't recognize this reference.
I gotta show you
There's
guys. That's
someone
crazy that
listening
you
who
don't know
gets
who that
it.
is.
I think that's
Somebody's
tequila in
gotta
that
get
cup
it.
over there. Not
Yeah, what's in
Soda.
there? What do you drink? Don't tell me you're drinking diet something.
Coke Zero. What you don't?
Here's my thing.
Hey, don't breathe into the microphone.
I can breathe into these microphones whenever I want.
We got ASMR Laura. We've got ASMR Chipotle.
Brendan's about to take a big,
It's all sticking together.
meaty, sour creamy, cheesy,
I don't think I can eat. when you're
ricey
talking like
bite.
that. I don't think I can.
Go ahead. Let's see it.
No, that's weird.
Got the name of our of our episode this week.
give me a beef tip there.
A beef tip. Yeah, feed Derek. That's what people want to see. No, you're supposed to feed him.
No, we're not doing that. That is good. I mean, Chipotle's good. I like it, but I'm
Yeah.
not obsessed with it like this guy is. How many times in a year would you say you get to Chipotle?
Well, I'm about to find out when I do my taxes. So
With Jackson's help.
What? Yes.
Literally, I bet you it's like 260 times a year. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I added up last year.
I was gonna say, did you added up how much?
Last
you
year I
spent?
added up how much I spent on Dunkin' and Chipotle. It was like $4 or $5 grand.
Oh my.
Okay,
goodness.
listen. Imagine. Okay, if you didn't,
I'm trying not to.
and you instead every time you wanted to go, if you took the amount right that you were gonna spend and you just put it into like something,
Trading cards.
dude, training cards. Engagement ring. I'm sorry. Did that just come out of my mouth?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is uncalled for.
Did I even tell you about that?
Gifts for me.
Well, we've had the conversation, you know.
We were in Sam's Club, or not Sam's Club, Costco, like a week and a half ago when I got my glasses. Actually, and we were looking at like the opal rings and stuff they have there, and she's like, said, I told you I plan on it sometime next year. He said, save your money until we get a place. And now since we're moving, she says she expects to be proposed to by the end of the year.
Wait, so you're
Get her a
moving?
mood
You're
ring.
moving again?
Get her
We're
a mood
moving
ring.
across the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mood ring. Find out
Ring
what
pop.
I won't go cheap. I'm gonna give her what she wants.
Well, yeah. I mean,
The place that I got Mallory's ring from, every year we got to send it in for cleaning. It's part of the warranty. And every time we get the ring back, we get a ring pop. It's very funny. I enjoy it.
that is kind of fun.
Yeah. I haven't had the latest. She won't eat it, so it's always on me. And we've done this 3 times now, and I gotta still eat the one from October.
I might take Laura's advice on the saving for the engagement ring. There we go.
There you go.
I don't know. It's then you'll save yourself the stress of like maybe doing like a interest thing and then making payments, instead of just being like, bah, bah, swipe my card, paying.
My friend
Cash money.
My friend went to Niagara Falls
We
with
need
his
a camera.
girlfriend this past weekend for their 4-year anniversary. They have a house together. They have 2 or 3 dogs, 3 or 4 cats, and he will not propose to her for some reason. So
Hey,
I was
man.
picking on him about it.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Took me 8 years. Well, I
Did
should
you have
say
a
took
house?
me.
Did you have a house with
We
Mallory?
moved multiple states.
But did you have a house?
Do you
No.
think that they're so
No.
comfortable?
They have a
now?
house.
Do you think that they're just so comfortable that they're like,
There's
I see her likes on Instagram sometimes, and it's like when I see everybody else proposing to their girlfriend,
ready.
but I'm not getting it.
she's ready for it? Yeah.
And I made it into a joke in the group chat where we're like saying like, oh, what's the similarity between Cam and Aaron Judge? Haha, they have or Paris and Aaron Judge, and haha, no rings. Josh Allen, no rings.
Oh, that you might be past the joking phase in that relationship. I'd probably move on to the seriously though.
So, speaking of rings, we don't have any rings to give out, but if we could, we have Winter All-Stars and Player of the Years to discuss today.
basketball specifically.
Basketball, wrestling, and swimming next week. But we had some good discussions. This week, Monday and Tuesday, we dropped our boys basketball and girls basketball Winter All-Stars, our all-county teams, Player of the Year, a starting lineup of first-teamers, and some honorable mentions focusing on Butler County. The boys team, to me, was a fun team to put together because of the debates we had. I think we had more debates about this team than we did the girls. As I kind of look back at this, some of the questions we asked, who should be Player of the Year? I think there was a legitimate spirited debate about that. Can we or can't we keep off Butler's top 2 of Stainton Forbes and Andrew Gettinger, the head-to-head of Knoch and North Catholic players who had gone against each other 4 times in huge, meaningful games, including twice in the playoffs, and how are they going to be represented on the team? On the girls' side, a very different kind of team we put together this year, which I think showed kind of the balance of talent we had within the area. We had, up to Karn City and Slippery Rock, North Catholic and Seneca Valley, Seneca
AC
Valley,
Valley.
down south at Union AC Valley, as Derek just totally blows up my spot here and I stumble over myself. There was a clear Player of the Year in the girls' side, but some discussion that I think led it to us not having a totally unanimous decision right off the bat. Lots of college talent on this team too. So let's start with the boys. We named Knox Teegan Finucan the boys' Player of the Year. What's the biggest takeaway for you guys, including Brendan, as you scarf down more of your Chipotle, of Finucan's season and his career? He graduates as one of the first to help Knoch win a district championship. He is their all-time leading scorer, an excellent three-point shooter, 4-year starter. What's your biggest takeaway on his season and career?
Well, first, for the mob that's coming from the South right now, spare Derek. It was Jake and I that voted for Teegan Finucan because in the games that I covered of Knoch and North Catholic, he impressed me that much where not just his scoring, but he was dishing the ball. I think he had a no-look pass in the Whippeal semifinal that I was really impressed by, that I actually wrote about in the story of him getting the Knox career points record in the same game. So that's how impressive that pass was. And just overall, I felt if Teegan Finucan wasn't on that team, of course they had a lot of talent, but he was their engine. He was someone that made them go. And North Catholic, they had both Jason Fredericks and Jude Rotman. And I felt like they were kind of 1A, 1B, similar. So, yeah, I felt that was the biggest thing in our decision-making. We usually don't tell people about our decision-making. So I
You
think
just
that
did,
would be
but
interesting.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, full
We're
disclosure,
sparing you, Derek. So
Jason Fredericks was
Not
our
for Knoch.
Jason Fredericks was our other nominee for Athlete of the Year, for Boys Player of the Year, and very deservingly so. Averaged more than 20 points a game. I mean,
97 3-pointers,
which is a crazy number. And Derek and Brendan, we kind of just like head to headed this, and
we thumb wrestled.
He
won.
Thumb wrestled. I think it was a good debate, and I don't want to have like sports show debate kind of topic here, but which is why I didn't want to ask the question of Fredericks versus Finucan, and but instead go with what's the takeaway on Finucan. Derek, you covered him for all 4 years. What's your takeaway on Finucan's career?
Well, he was incredibly consistent. I mean, you see players who end up becoming really good, even to the point where they're named, a county player of the year, but when you look back at the start of their career, they need to get their feet wet, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Teegan Finucan told me in the story I did for him when we named him Player of the Year, which appeared in Monday's paper, he didn't plan on playing varsity as a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first game, which I believe was one of those tip-off tournament games up at Butler,
mm-hmm.
he was called in off the bench, and he scores 26 points.
Yeah.
So, I'm planning on just kind of riding the bench, maybe playing some garbage minutes at the end of varsity games. My first game of my freshman year, I get thrown in off the bench, and I score 26 points. And the comment he gave me was he put his foot on the gas, and he never let up. And
Which is a great quote.
Yeah,
Great quote.
he never averaged less than 13 points a game for an entire career. This year he averaged 16, but he was definitely the best player on a team that made history. First Whitfield title in Knoch boys basketball. And they've been around for over 60 years now, so pretty impressive.
You think about the butterfly effect of how every little thing will impact things down the line, or can impact things down the line, and it kind of makes me think in that moment, if he doesn't if he isn't called off the bench, or if he doesn't perform that well off the bench, what does his career end up looking like? Does he become the all-time leading scorer? Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't have been a very talented player by his senior year. It's pretty clear, but it probably forced open some doors and changed the trajectory and the acceleration of his career.
I would say that if he doesn't come in and have that kind of great debut, I mean, we're talking about a freshman making his debut, and he goes out and scores 26 points.
It's hard for a coach to ignore that.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, he would end up being a very good player, but I think I'm pretty confident saying that if he didn't have that kind of debut, he would not be Knoch's all-time leading scorer, because as it turned out, he ended up getting the record by about 100 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got it in January.
Yeah, I would think.
February. It was in the Whitfield playoffs.
He'd have over 1,000 points. I'm very confident saying that. I'm also confident saying that he would not have the school record if he didn't come in so early in his career and perform so well.
Brendan, you wanted to add something.
The thing that also factors in is Knoch's previous coach, his son, Jackson Bowman, was a star player as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he transferred out before this year, and I thought that I came into the season focused on the fact, like, hey, they lost their best player. He transferred to Moon. He's out of here. They changed their coach. And the expectations, I feel, with Jackson gone probably ramped up for him. Like, hey, you're a guy now. You got to lead us. And he did just that. That, like you said, with the Whitfield title, that those accomplishments also kind of earn you those honors.
Yeah, and we talked pretty much all season about how good Knoch's starting five were.
Yep.
I mean, aside from Teegan, you got the DeFelice brothers, Roman and Vinny, and Liam Avon and Derek Lang. All five of those guys had a major say in what Knoch was able to accomplish this year, but Teegan definitely the leader of that group, and historic season, best player on that team. Teegan had a great year. I don't have a problem necessarily with him getting player of the year. I just the number that really stuck out for me for Jason Fredericks was 97. I have never seen a high school player hit that many threes. Agreed. And you mentioned Jude Rotman, who also made our first team. He hit, I think, 61 this year, 61 threes. So between those two players, Fredericks and Rotman, you're talking almost 163s from two players.
I don't think you see some teams make that.
Yeah.
Total.
And Fredericks did lead the county in points per game with 23.4.
Well, speaking of DeFelice and Fredericks, let's run through the boys' first team here. We had Vinny DeFelice, senior wing for Knoch, was on the first team, along with Stanton Forbes, guard from Butler, another senior, and Andrew Gettinger, guard wing for Butler as well, and a senior. Jason Fredericks, as we mentioned, he's on first team, senior guard from North Catholic. And we had Jude Rottenman, who we've name dropped a little bit here, another senior guard, a very guard-heavy first team. And our coach of the year was Monotaw's Jake Jewett. Anything you guys want to highlight about the first-year coach from Montauk, who isn't really like an unknown name? This is not a guy who we didn't know about before this year.
No, he played for Montauk baseball, basketball about I want to say 8-9 years ago. And the previous coach at Montauk was Jake Gewett's dad, Mike, who is now on his son's staff as an assistant. But I know, when you got a team make history like Knoch did with the first district title in program history, a lot of people are just going to say, that coach should be coach of the year. And Joe Lafko did a great job, but we also recognize, and he recognized, that when he put his hat into the ring to become Knoch's coach in the offseason, he knew they had a chance to do something big. That's why he came out of retirement. Longtime coach at Hampton. He retired a couple years ago, and he thought that was going to be it. But when the Knoch job came open and available, he looked at what Knoch had coming back, and he had a good idea because Knoch and Hampton are very familiar with each other. When you look at Montauk, I don't know if anybody that was familiar with Montauk basketball coming into the season that thought that they were going to have a good year.
Yeah.
They had
we certainly didn't project what they did.
Montauk went 6-15 last year. This year they win 16 games, so they improved their win total by 10, and they also won a playoff game. So for me, it came down to believe me, I'm not trying to downplay winning a Whitfield title, but if you would have told me before the season, hey, Knoch's going to win the Whitfield this year, first time in school history, okay. I mean, I'm not saying I would have picked that, but I would have thought that there was a better chance of that happening than there was of Montauk going from 6 wins to 16 and winning a playoff game. So I basically voted for the coach that I thought did something that I never would have thought back in November when we had media day down at the Butler YMCA. I personally thought Montauk was going to have maybe another year like they did last year, 5 or 6 wins, and they won 16 and won a playoff game. So that's why I personally voted for Jake Jewett. I thought he helped Montauk do something that I don't know anybody, maybe outside of that gym up in Cherry Township, that thought Montauk was going to have a good year and win a playoff game.
We're going to have to clip all of the gurgling that's coming out of Brendan's body right now and just make that like a 10-second social media
It's
clip.
the Tabasco
I'm not even
sauce.
gurgling.
I love the we are going to have to.
It's a team effort, Laura.
Just call Jake down when we need the help. Call Derek. Don't call me.
Okay, Mr. Gurgles. 30 seconds or less so we can move on to the girls team.
The only times I talked to Jake Jewett were after 2 of their 3 biggest losses this season, other than being knocked out of state playoff contention. The KSAC semifinal, District 9 semifinal, both times. He was very cool to talk to. That KSAC semifinal was like the most uncharacteristic game you'd ever see from Montauk. I think it was the most lopsided score I'd ever seen at halftime, 43-5, something like that. But yeah, like Derek said, we did not expect that. It was cool to see.
Now moving on to the girls team. Madison Romanovich, senior from Slippery Rock, is our girls player of the year. We've talked about her a lot on this show because she was just having a phenomenal season from start to finish. I can't remember how many times we kind of looked at each other in the office or we're talking about on the show, like 25-point game, 32-point game, 21 and 17, like just crazy numbers she put up all season. We had some discussion about whether or not we had someone else's player of the year, but it was not nearly as close of a race. And at the end of it, Madison's the girl here.
It was unanimous.
Yeah,
definitely.
It was not a, like, all three of us. I think I played devil's advocate. It's like, okay, do we consider Naomi Vaneski from Karn City or
Hambly
from Seneca Valley? And it was just kind of to make sure we covered our bases, but it was pretty clear Madison was the girls athlete of the year. So let's talk about her for a little bit. Sum up Romanovich's season and how she was able to stand out so much from this very crowded field.
You mentioned the consistency aspect of it, where you're seeing her score what she is each night and not just like a one-off where, oh, she scored 35 tonight and 6 the next night. And that was what Jeff Steele kind of talked about. Even after we voted her that, he said that was a thing that if you were to make a case for her, and he didn't like downplay the other girls in our county, but he said she was there every night. They needed her every night. Of course, their season ended against Oakland Catholic, just like it did the season before. But the story I wrote that night, and the story that Jeff Steele will tell you, is the way they improved from last year to this season, and the way they fought in that game against a perennial powerhouse was really cool and really impressive. And the fact that Slippery Rock, when I started here in 2021, I think they were under Amber Osborne, right?
Yeah.
They had like a streak of, I think, 9 straight District 10 playoff appearances. She leaves. They have a few down years. Jeff Steele steps in. And he believes that Madison Romanovich is a huge reason why their program is in a really good spot going forward.
The thing that impressed me most with Madison this year was last year, her junior year, she and CJ Sabo were kind of like the 1-2 punch. They both averaged roughly 16.5 points, 7 or 8 rebounds a game, and CJ graduated this past spring. So the focus was on it. You know, people were looking at Madison saying, okay, now what are you going to do now that, you know, the other player who put up really impressive numbers last year, now that she's graduated, Madison, how are you going to respond? And as you mentioned, Jake, it was right off the bat. I mean, we can go back on the max preps and look at this, but right off the bat, she's scoring 25, 26, 28, 30, 25, 26. And I remember, I mean, this was back in December.
Yeah.
And we were looking at each other like, you know, not that we
knew she was good.
Yeah, we knew she was good, but we just kind of waited for, okay, now there's got to be a little bit of a let up here. I mean, she can't keep this up.
Yeah.
And she kept it up. And as you mentioned, Brendan, the fact that they lost to Oakland Catholic for the second straight year in the state playoffs, but last year it was in the first round. This year it was in the second round. Last year they finished 4th in D10. This year they finished runner-up in D10, and they also improved their win total from a year ago. And all of this with a girl, CJ Sabo, who averaged almost a double-double a game. The fact that Slippery Rock was able to have such a good season, it's kind of like we looked at Knoch and saying, okay, they won a Whitfield title. Who was the driving force behind that? Even though the other starters obviously had to say in it, it was Teegan Finucan with Slippery Rock girls. It's all the girls contributed, but Madison Romanovich was definitely the ringleader, so to speak. I mean, absolutely. I mean, from start to finish, she had a very consistent year, and it wasn't just scoring, rebounds, assists, all that.
22.4 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Looking at her game stats, she started slow with 16 points in the loss to Knoch.
I forgot 16. See, well, come on, Madison.
But not Knoch. It was it Karn City they opened with?
What is that?
KCHS.
Oh, that's Karn City.
Karn City. Knoch, she had 22. Then she goes off for 31. The first of, I believe,
Kennedy Catholic.
Kennedy
I'm sorry,
Catholic.
it's
There
Kennedy
it is.
Catholic. The other KC.
First of, I believe, 4 30-point games she'd have. She had 31. 30 a couple weeks later against Oil City, 33 against Eisenhower. The first and only time she scores under double digits is against Elizabeth Forward in the first round of the state playoffs.
And
she
they won
had
that game.
7.
And they won that
and
game.
they won that game, and she had 19 against Oakland Catholic. Which by this point in the year, everyone's keying on her. That's the other thing that was kind of impressive about this is, defenses are going to key on her early in the season because she's like the big returning player, but then later in the season because she's clearly the dominant player and she couldn't really be stopped.
We had Jeff Steele and Madison on shortly after she reached 1,000 points back in, I think it was early January we had him on. And if you remember, I mean, she's obviously a really good player. She's talented, but she's also very humble. It's like she's kind of hesitant to talk about herself. And Jeff was sitting right here, Madison was right here, and he's like, I asked her a question about something, and she gave me an answer, but Jeff said, she's kind of, she's kind of being hard on herself. I think he said that she's obviously the leader of this team. She just doesn't like talking about herself. So I respect that, but, now that we're talking about the player of the year and she's it, I can talk her up. We can talk her up. You deserved it, Madison. You had a great year. 2
more questions for you guys to ponder here about our boys and girls basketball all-stars. I want, if you can, one answer, and it can be a boy or a girl. If you really think there's 2 answers here, give your 2. But which player beat your expectations among our first team and player of the years the most? Was it someone on the girls' side? And I'm talking like preseason. We go into media day, and we're trying to learn what we're going to know about this team going into this year. Who exceeded your expectations from start to finish?
I hate to take the easy road here, but I'm going to continue to talk about Madison Romanovich.
Okay.
I honestly thought, like, coming into the year that she was going to put up similar numbers to last year. 16, 17, 18 points a game, and she ended up scoring over 22 points a game.
Yeah, 22.4.
I didn't think that, since so much of a defense's attention was going to be focused on her, since her teammate CJ graduated last year, I didn't know. And here's the thing. If Madison would have put up another 16, 17-point season, that still would have been really good.
Yeah.
But the fact that she was able to elevate her play with all that extra defensive attention, I would not have picked that before the year. And she ended up doing it. And that's my pick for, obviously, player of the year. I voted for her, but also the surprise of the year. Not that she had a good season, but she had a truly great season. That's what I was a little bit surprised with.
I would say Stainton Forbes from Butler. Coming into the season, I thought that there was a clear top player for Butler, Andrew Gettinger, and the way that Stainton Forbes kind of was described or seemed was like he was the Robin to Gettinger's Batman, and ended up that they were on each other's level. Like he comes in, and we knew he was athletic, dealt with injuries, that sort of thing, but there were a few different instances that stuck out. Like, yes, he was successful on the court, but there were a few instances, especially he slips on midcourt in a game that they had to have to win to make playoffs. It was basically win or go home. They had one more game after that, but I think I told you guys this story. There's a fan for Butler that he would come to every game. He's a student. He's a classmate of theirs. Crazy, like, faithful to his team. Like, he claps with every make. Is like disappointed with every miss. And he knows after Stainton slips and can't get the shot off, there's a turnover, that their season's over. So he's crying in the parking lot after the game. He's like beside himself. And it just so happened I was writing and his car was parked next to mine. So he's sitting there, he's crying, like he's, like I said, just distraught. And Stainton comes out, and he probably, I'm guessing, one of the worst athletic moments of his career, where he's like, I just cost us playoffs. Like, and it wasn't his fault. He slipped on the court. The court was wet. So rather than be rude to this classmate and be like, get away from me, he hugged this classmate for a good 3 or 4 seconds and kind of like told him, it's going to be okay. It's fine. Don't worry. I thought it was really mature for a high school student who just had like a terrible moment, like something that I don't even know how to deal with in front of a crowd like that, knowing what it cost my team. And instead, he's out here helping a classmate feel better. So I thought that was really cool, story that people should know about him. And when I talked to him last, it was a few months ago, he had interest from teams like Slippery Rock, other
WJ.
Other PAC schools around here. So he'll end up somewhere, and I think that's deservedly so.
I was remiss earlier. I did not run through who the rest of our first team girls all-stars were, so we'll do that real quick. Mars senior Alexis Cash Dollar. We had Maddie Dayhart, Union AC Valley's senior forward. Natalie Hambley, the senior guard and all-time leading scorer now at Seneca Valley. And then a couple underclassmen, our only two on the boys or girls teams to make first team. Reese McFadden, sophomore guard at Seneca Valley, who's already getting some Division I interests. We had Brady Wayner from North Catholic, the junior guard there. And last but not least, Naomi Vaneski, the senior guard from Carn City, who helped them win 4 straight District 9 championships. And I believe for the first time, our coach of the year is Seneca Valley's Dorothea Epps, who led her team to a second straight Whippeal section title. This year was a shared title at 9-1. They won their first Whippeal playoff game in quite a long time.
20 years.
20 years. Really good season, and she's built that program up over the last few years, and with some help from some very talented players too. But thoughts on Dorothea and the rest of the first teamers?
She very well, Dorothea Epps at Seneca Valley, could have been named our girls coach of the year last year. It's just the fact that, and she was certainly part of the voting, but Jeff Steele, in his first year at Slippery Rock, took that team from, I think, 7 wins and not making the playoffs the year before to
state second round.
Second round state, and obviously that was like a revival season for Slippery Rock, and we awarded Jeff Steele with Coach of the Year on the girls' side last year. But Dorothea, Last year they won a section title with an undefeated section record, 10-0. This year they finished 9-1 and tied, I believe it was Pine Richland, for the crown. But a great season. And as you said, I covered their last Whipple playoff victory, which was 2006. Long streak. That's 2 decades, and it was really cool to see them end that drought and pick up a win and advance in the playoffs this year.
Imagine dominating your section that badly. Like all these teams that you're closest to,
19-1.
you go in and you beat them 19 out of 20 times. So you figure they lost to Pine Richland this year, but they beat them 3 out of the other 4, or 3 out of the other 3 times. So that's something I asked her about, and she really wasn't going to take credit for anything. She was like, "This is big on my players, my administration, my fellow coaches." She was very complimentary about where things are going, just like Steele was in his program overall.
My last question here, and we'll keep it to like 30 seconds or less of the answer for each of you. Looking ahead to next year, which underclassmen in our county, and again, boys or girls, do you think is most likely to make our first team next year? Either one of the first teams. Now, granted, we had 2 underclassmen this year on the girls' side, but do you see them repeating that feat, or do you see a boy that is an honorable mention right now that you think is really likely to make first team next year?
North Catholic is going to have most of their team back next season, and I think Brady Wayner, I talked to their coach multiple times, Molly Rotman, about the important touch she had and how she's stepping up as a leader. So I see her face will be on this list again next year.
Derek?
Taylor Richard, the freshman point guard
one.
from Karn City. Man, I'm telling you what, I covered Karn City, I think, 4 times this year, and in each game, including a game against Red Bank. This was back in December. I think it was right before Christmas, if you remember. They had not beaten Red Bank in like 8 years, and Taylor Richard was a big reason why she can handle the pressure, and the fact that she's only a freshman, you got to believe her ability on the court's only going to get better and better. So I'll go with Taylor Richard.
She moves really well in the court. I saw her in the district championship. She was very impressive, even though she didn't have the highest scoring game that day.
How you doing, Jackson?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Are you back in New York now?
I am back on campus here at Hamilton. So,
how's the body feeling after a long season? You still sore? You're still in the ice tub?
body's definitely hurting a little bit, but we're feeling great mentally and just celebrating. So it's been good. I'll take the bumps and bruises along the way with it. So yeah, it's been good.
Winning eases some pain, I'm sure.
It does. It always does. Winning cures all, right?
Congratulations on championship. Did you ever before as we're getting started, did you ever think that was going to be something in your future, winning a national championship?
It's always hard to imagine. I can't say it was towards the top of my list. Like when I first joined Hamilton my freshman year, our goal was always to win the NESCAC, which we did last year, and we knew we'd have a good chance this year. But it's one of those ones you never really believe it until it happens. So it was definitely special.
Nice.
This week, our guest on the Eye on Sports podcast is 2019 Mars graduate Jackson Krock. On March 29th, Jackson helped Hamilton College's men's hockey team win the NCAA Division III National Championship. Thank you for making time for us today, Jackson. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking with you guys.
So the championship game came against Hobart, and Hamilton won 2-1. Jackson, you're a forward, and your teammate Curtis Sturgeon ended the game and the season with a goal in overtime. Can you begin to describe the atmosphere in the arena as your team realized it was a national champion? It had to be pretty crazy, I would think.
It was. I mean, it was pure chaos, pure euphoria right after Curtis put that puck away in overtime. But overall, that game was probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever been a part of on the ice. 4,000 people at the Utica Auditorium. It was a high-stakes game, obviously, and it really just added to, the championship caliber of play of the game overall. But it was definitely the greatest celebration I've been a part of once Curtis scored that goal in overtime.
Taking a step back, you guys are in the New England Small College Athletic Conference tournament. You're the 1 seed in that, but you lose to Williams College in the semifinals. Did that impact the team's mindset at all? What did you guys do to kind of recover, and hope that you were going to make the national tournament and then make a run there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of started to reflect on this run a little bit as the dust settled here, and I think we all agree that honestly, if we don't lose to Williams in the NESCAC, I'm not positive that we would be national champions now. I think that was a great way for us to face adversity as a group when we really hadn't faced it all year prior to that. But obviously, that was a big shock because our goal is always to try and win the NESCAC and try to win the conference playoffs there, but. We put ourselves in a good situation throughout the year that we were lucky enough to receive the at-large bid just with how the MPI standings shook out. And we're really blessed to have a second chance. But like I said, I think that was a huge motivator for us losing and finding, a second life in the national tournament there.
You hear that a lot of like losing is a good lesson. It can teach you a lot of lessons. So like, what was the lesson you learned from that?
I mean, just once again, kind of how difficult it is to win. Last year was the first time that Hamilton had ever won the NESCAC, and we've been in the NESCAC for I think it's been a conference for 25 years, 26 years now. So it's just difficult to win in this conference and in sports in general. So I think we were just really fortunate enough to, like I said, have that second chance and have a chance to compete for a national title. And I think we were really grateful for that, and kind of just understood, how tight these games are and how difficult it is to win at the end of the day.
Your roster includes players from 10 different states and 5 different Canadian provinces. And like the one that stands out to me is you have a kid from Texas on the team too. So like when you join the team and as you're playing throughout the years, what did you learn about different people, different areas of the country, and even North America as a whole? And how did that help you guys come together at all? How do you blend differences and similarities in a roster like that?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think, having guys from all over in different parts of the world was really a unique aspect of our team that I don't think you always get, especially in hockey. I know a lot of other teams, even in our conference, it's located in New England, a lot of kids based in New England, Massachusetts, like upstate New York here. But like you mentioned, we have guys from Texas, guys from Colorado. We have my 3 roommates are all from Canada, from, Kelowna, British Columbia to Calgary to Montreal, and they're some of my best friends for life now. So I think it's a really cool aspect of our team, just having guys come from all these different backgrounds and different parts of the world, really. So like I said, it's pretty unique for a college of just about 2,000 people to see, the different backgrounds that all the guys on our team have.
The national title was won 2 weekends ago. Just this past weekend, you and your teammates celebrated the title win in Montreal, obviously a major city. But, New York City, Boston are also major cities and not too far of a drive from Hamilton. And they also don't involve crossing the border. So what was it specifically about Montreal that had you guys say this is where we want to celebrate the win?
The answer is that we have some great event planners on our team that are from Montreal. We have about, I think it's 3 or 4 guys from the Quebec and Montreal area there. One of them who happens to be my roommate, Josh Nadler. So we kind of had some event planners for us who knew all the good spots to hit and the good areas to go to for our Saturday celebration, our Friday celebration. And like I said, that was just kind of going with guys that we trusted on, Montreal being a fun time. And like I said, kind of making the reservations and having the spots ready for us to go to as a team. And they did a phenomenal job, like always.
So in your 4 years at Hamilton, you started playing well right off the bat. You scored goals. You contributed assists. 39 goals and 42 assists in your career in your 4 years with the Continentals. But your journey to a national title began 2 decades ago. Can you walk us through how you got introduced to hockey and who you played for in those early years?
Yeah, so growing up, I was originally born in the Pittsburgh area and only spent about 3 years of my life there. We moved to Chicago when I was about 3 years old, so that's kind of where I started learning to skate and learn to play hockey. But like I kind of mentioned, even in the article, I was always an avid football fan when I was young. That was my first love as a sport. I was obsessed with football and eventually gave hockey a try when I was around 4 or 5 years old. And I don't know what exactly flipped in my mind, but kind of ran with hockey ever since. And like you said, I've been playing for 20 years now. And my dad was obviously a huge part of it. He played club hockey at Penn State. He played he played high school hockey at Upper St. Clair as well. So he was a major influence and role model for me there. And yeah, like you said, growing up, when we moved back to Pittsburgh when I was around 10, I played for the original Pittsburgh Hornets as it was for a year. Then they rebranded and became the Pittsburgh Penguins Elite, which was my travel association that I played for, 8 years or so at that point, and also competed for a year at Mars Area High School when I was a senior varsity hockey.
You played 3 years of junior hockey as well, including one in Anchorage, Alaska, which I feel is pretty out there. What do you remember about playing and living there?
Anchorage is awesome. It's a really cool town. It's a close-knit community. It's a big-time hockey town. Obviously, we were an expansion team that year, the Anchorage Wolverines, coming into the North American Hockey League. So they started this franchise basically from scratch. We had, no returning players and really a lot of openings for guys to make a roster. And I felt like it was just a great opportunity for me. I had one more year of eligibility left for junior hockey before college. And, my parents supported me with a pretty big decision to move all the way to Alaska. And I just remember how much fun I had there with that group, and how cool the town is and how supportive they were of a brand new franchise like the Wolverines at that time. But it was an awesome experience that, I look back on and still cherish during my last year of junior hockey there.
Where's colder, Chicago or Anchorage?
Anchorage is colder. Definitely more snow in Anchorage, I will say that. But Anchorage is quite cold.
Yeah. So what led to you enrolling at Hamilton in upstate New York?
A lot of things. Prior to Anchorage, I played in South Shore, which is just outside of Foxborough, Massachusetts. So I was kind of in the backyard of a lot of these NESCAC schools, and I knew if I was playing D3 hockey, I wanted to be at a really good academic institution where I could get a great education out of it. And I got in contact with Coach Rob Haberbush here at Hamilton I think immediately after my first year of juniors. So he was consistent in his communication with me and was overall just really impressed with him as an individual, and heard obviously great things about Hamilton as a school, and just kept in touch with them. And my summer before I went out to Anchorage, my dad and I were able to visit the campus here at Hamilton, and immediately fell in love with it. I think it's a great campus, and really just stood out to me in my mind. And it was great to meet Coach Haberbush in person and see the rink. And like I said, it just kind of checked all my boxes, and I couldn't be happier, with my decision now.
I'm guessing one of those boxes were that your parents were close enough that they could come see you, right? So what was that like for them to be able to share what you were able to accomplish this season with you?
It was great. I mean, they've been a huge step of my journey, and my biggest supporters, ever since, we were talking about when I was 5 years old, just starting this game out. But it was really special to share all these memories at Hamilton with them. I mean, you see it, even our parents on the team are super close with each other as well. They come up for weekends all the time, and I can't think of many games that they missed at all this year. So it was definitely special to just have their continued support throughout my college journey, and definitely really awesome to have them in attendance for the national championship this weekend. So it was a great weekend for all of us.
It doesn't really seem to be slowing down for you either. You graduate in a month, and it sounds like you already have a job lined up at an investment firm in New York City, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, how difficult is it for you to comprehend that your competitive hockey career is over? And also, can you help me file my taxes?
Well, I will say that is the one thing that has not really set in and crossed my mind, and it's starting to a little bit as this whole kind of whirlwind of a past week has settled down a bit. But I mean, when you look at it, that game against Hobart, that was my last game no matter what, which was, I thought a unique end. I've seen, guys in my past years, they didn't know that it was their last game, but no matter what happened that night, all of us seniors knew that this journey was over. But that's the one thing that really I have not wrapped my head around at all, just because, at Hamilton, the ice is down here now for the spring. The only thing that we do as a team in the spring really is team lifts, which I won't be a part of now being a senior and moving on. But I think it will definitely start to hit as I watch these guys gear up to play again next year. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna miss all the fantastic memories that this game has brought me, and I mean, it's introduced me to so many people and places. But it's just been an incredible journey, and I'm definitely going to miss it, to say the least.
Jackson, you spent 2 years, I believe, playing junior hockey in Massachusetts, Foxborough, you said. What was it like for a Steeler fan in Patriot country?
I didn't. There wasn't much love for me there. I'll say that. My billet family, my host family, they were big time Pats fans. I will say that is a great football town as well. I'm always, partial to Pittsburgh and just our city as a sports town. But yeah, I didn't get too much love there as a Steelers fan. But there is definitely a good little rivalry in the house with my billet dad and myself. During NFL season when I was there in South Shore.
With so many teammates, like being from all over North America, like we talked about a little bit ago. What are some of those stories of like rivalries that you guys had, whether it was NHL teams each of you root for and the trash talk that ensued, or maybe it was something else? What were some of those inter team like fun conflicts that you'd have, and how did that play out?
Well, the big one this year, we've always had a big split of Canadian Americans. So obviously the gold medal game between USA and Canada and hockey was crazy, to say the least. And, last year with the Four Nations, Canada obviously beat USA. So I'm the only American fan in my quad, like I was mentioning. So good revenge for the United States this year on my part. But it's been cool. Like we said, so many guys from different backgrounds, like my three that I mentioned to earlier, my three roommates, they're Canadian. They didn't really understand, like how big the NFL was in the United States and, especially in Pittsburgh. So now, we haven't made it to a Steelers game yet, but they all say their first NFL game will be at Acrisure Stadium to see a Steelers game down the line.
Nice.
But it's been cool. And I would say the biggest thing has been the U.S.-Canada kind of dynamics and rivalry there. So that's been a cool split to see over the years at Hamilton.
Wonder if there were any bets placed on any of these games.
You gave me a great interview for the story on Friday, Jackson, and again, great interview today. You really gave us some insight into the season and what you guys were able to accomplish, and we appreciate your time so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to meet you guys as well, and thanks for having me today.
Congrats, Jackson. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I imagine hockey players, even in college, can party pretty hard after a championship.
Oh yeah. Very well-spoken guy, though. I mean, The other day when I was asking questions, I actually did it in my car, and I put him on speakerphone, and I set the phone on my one leg and was just jotting down, and he's giving me these answers, and I'm like, man, I feel like I should pay this guy. The story's basically writing itself.
Let's not give any of our coaches and players any ideas, because we're going to be broke very fast. I paused too.
There was no.
Let us know when you got a mouth that's not full of
sour cream and double
meat
steak
and rice
and cheese and rice.
Farm music.
We need to. I hope by next season we will have it on the show. It'll just say Brendan Howe sponsored by Chipotle. Just Brendan specifically is sponsored by Chipotle.
I believe your record now is 4-3 because you got last week's answer, which was your favorite player, Kenny Pickett. This week, it's going to be a little bit of a different question here. I'm going to give you 3 former Steeler quarterbacks, and you have to put them in order from most passing yards as a Steeler down to the least.
Okay.
I like this.
Okay? We got Mr. Bubby Brister, Cordell Stewart, and Mike Tomczak.
Is this most passing yards as a Steeler or for their career?
As a Steeler.
Bubby Brister top, Cordell Stewart 2, and Tomczak 3.
I say Cordell, right?
Cordell first, Bubby second, Mike Tomczak.
Bubby was only
Here's
3
their
years with the
totals right
team?
there. No, Bubby was 7. He was 7.
7?
Yep.
Wow.
But Cordell tops out of those 3 with 13,000 yards. Brister had over 10,000, and Tomczak, who spent most of his career with the Steelers as a backup, 6,600.
Brendan was very confident in that one. I like the swagger on that.
I didn't.
Yeah, there's no pause. There's no I need time.
Cordell was a quarterback before I started watching the Steelers. I started watching with Tommy Maddox, and I felt like
Tommy Maddox.
they never really gave him a fair crack, so I was thinking maybe he ran the ball a bit more, but whatever.
4-4, which is better than my 3-11.
That was surprising, I will say. 3-11 for you?
I know. It's
Come on, man.
I still wake up in cold sweats at night, believe me.
Thinking about it.
So now it is time for Beyond Butler, the segment where we talk about something outside of Butler County, whether it be college or pro. And this week, I think this is the second straight week, but it deserves it. Second straight week, we're talking about Easton Bozzoli, a Seneca Valley High School grad, who is the head men's basketball coach at Gannon University. Last week, we said, hey, his team's playing in the national championship this weekend, which was now yesterday, Sunday, and now we're talking about Gannon University with Easton Bozzoli as their head coach as national champions. Jake, you got the story last night. What stuck out for you, other than the fact that they're national champions?
It was a blowout, 84-61, and it was about a 15 to 20 point game from, I want to say, about halfway through the first half. It wasn't really all that close. I think Lander made a run in the second half to get it down to maybe 8 or 9, but that was about it. Bozzoli, to its credit, during the post-game interview on CBS, gave all the credit to the program, to the players and everything. He talked about how the players had a chance to put Gannon on the map, quote, a little bit bigger, and these guys deserve it, end quote. Pace Prosser, a freshman guard for the Knights, had 27 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. Bozzoli could not praise him enough in that post-game interview right as they were wheeling out the trophy and they're roping off the court and everything. They're doing the post-game press conference. Called him the best player in the country. Really good stuff. I will rib Gannon University's athletic department a little bit here. You guys won a national championship, and your athletics website is not updated for 3 hours with at least just like a giant photo to say national champs. Like, I know it's the holidays,
right?
But you got to be ready for that and celebrate it. Man, that was cool. Erie, Pennsylvania team brings home a PSAC team brings home a Division II natty.
I just gotta, I think, up in Erie, Gannon, of course, is a PSAC school, rival of, Indiana, Slippery Rock, Cal, all the state schools that are in this side of the state. One school that just left the PSAC, and you know this, Mercyhurst. They're now a Division I team. Mm-hmm. There was a huge rivalry up in Erie between Gannon and Mercyhurst because they're like 3 or 4 miles apart. I just wonder how it feels for Gannon to see their big rival across town move to Division I, but now you, Gannon, are Division II national champions. So take that, Lakers.
Well, I'll defend Mercyhurst, where my brother got his master's, actually.
Whatever.
They came one win away from being in the actual NCAA tournament, so I'm sure Mercyhurst is just fine. But
hey, they don't have hardware.
I saw one of Gannon's players posted, I don't know if it was last night or during the PSAC championship. It was a PSAC tournament board, so I'm guessing it was back then. I got it a little later, but players are dancing, and I went into the comments and someone said, anyone but IUP. And you know what? I agree with that.
Where's the love for Clarion here?
Yeah, right?
28 NCAA tournament appearances for Gannon, just their second appearance in a championship game and their first final in Bozzoli's second year in charge. I believe this is second
Let
year
him take over Pitt basketball.
And here's the thing. The guy's only, I don't know exactly when his birthday is. He's basically 30 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, a national champion at 30 years old.
2013 high school graduate.
He's
I graduated college
basically,
then.
or he is?
Well, I'm not
He'd be
sure
about
exactly.
32.
30 years old.
Understood.
32.
Well, he graduated high school when he in 13.
Yep.
So he was 18 and that's 12 years ago.
He's about 4 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So he's about 30.
You guys just blap, 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 math. Blap, blap, blap.
I know this because 2013 is when I graduated college, so I could do the.
I'm gonna go home and put on compression socks and do my nightly functional movement stretches.
I don't know if I mentioned this last week. He was actually our player of the year. I think I mentioned that last week.
Don't think you did.
He was our boys player of the year in 13, and now he's a national champion. So cool to see local guys make good.
I got KT tape on my elbow last week for the first time because they think there's an ulnar nerve issue
For the
now.
first time you had KT tape?
I've never used KT tape before.
It's pretty remarkable.
And it didn't do much for me because we really manipulated the elbow that day, so the swelling was pretty solid, and so I got to get that checked out. But that was my mobility stretching, all the hand and wrist and arm stretches I've been doing for the past 2 months. I feel every bit my age every single day. Brendan,
You want to lick
Enjoy
the
it while
plate
it
there?
lasts.
Hey, yeah. Are you gonna? Yeah, I was gonna. Oh man, you're done with it already.
He scarfed it
That's
down.
a silly question.
That's where all
I
the
don't know
gurgling was coming from.
I
I
want.
eat that in like 10 minutes when I go on break.
See,
He's offended by me saying he scarfed it down.
No,
well,
that was.
hey, this just
I'm
in.
offended that you think that was fast.
Jordan Geist is a national, not national, world champion.
Ooh,
Wow.
time to look that one up.
Yeah, yeah,
Jordan
man.
Geist has a shot at the next Summer Olympics.
Yeah, I know.
2028.
Absolutely.
In LA, I'm going.
And we named him our male athlete of the last 25 years.
Last year,
Yep.
yeah, last year. That's why I wanted to. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that into your convo before you guys.
What
I'm
What
loving
event was
the
this
beard.
in?
It's he posted on Instagram. I follow him. So
All right.
he said, excited to have gotten the opportunity to represent the United States at the Indoor World Athletics Championship in Poland a couple weeks ago, and now get to call myself a world medalist. Okay, world medalist. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can't see. And he didn't specify world medalist.
The 2028 Olympics are stateside in LA. And Jordan Geist definitely has a chance of being there. He didn't miss the last Olympics by much. Absolutely.
No, for sure. We could have a couple local kids, and shouldn't say kids anymore,
Yeah, right?
but they're kids to all of us now. They're younger than Brendan, and Brendan is still a kid.
Abby Bliss.
Abby
from
Bliss.
Union.
Yep.
The pride of Reimersburg.
I've,
Speaking of kids doing incredible things,
that was funny.
Emerson Jones. We knew she was a really good softball player, put up some crazy numbers last year as a freshman, but you just got a story done on her that has something to do with something outside the field, literally outside the playing field. What do you got for
Look
us?
at that tease.
So we know that Emerson Jones can hit home runs. She had 10 as a freshman. A year after Knoch as a team hit 0. That many.
She has 10
right there.
more than me.
None. So her coaches are well aware of this too. And until recently, they've kind of just left it up to, let's just hope Emerson doesn't hit our car hitting batting practice. Now they take a freshman, they trot her out outside the fence, and they basically say, defend our cars. She's going to hit this ball. You go and try and catch it.
We will defend this car.
So I asked Emerson, she said, she hasn't hit a car yet. She hit one on a bounce. She didn't mean to hit it. I said, if your coaches made you angry enough, would you be able to hit their car? She said, I think I could if I tried. So
You won't
figure,
like me when I'm angry.
Stay on our good side, Chris.
You figure, and I told her and I told Chris Gardner this story of a few years ago. I was covering a Seneca Valley baseball game, and you know the story. They had their catcher. What was their catcher's name then? Do you remember? He had like a last name as a first name.
I don't remember.
The boys' baseball team.
Oh, I don't remember.
But
Sorry, Seneca.
he was a good catcher. He's probably the best player, and he hit a home run over the left field fence. And you know at Seneca Valley they have those like 2 fences where it's like 20 feet. Hit it over the fence. Everyone's excited. Yeah, you hit a home run. After the game, I go over, and Eric Semega is looking at a broken sunroof on his car. And
Erdos. Last name was Erdos.
Creed Erdos. Yes.
Not
So-
a first name, that's a last name.
Creed. That's a first name, last name, yeah.
Erdos?
Creed. First name, last name. Last name, last name.
Okay.
Like
you
Apollo
said first
Creed.
name.
Yeah.
You said his last name is a first name. I thought you were saying
Anywho.
like Sam was his last
That was
name.
not my best interview, being that Eric Semega was probably thinking about my car insurance is not going to be happy about this. But
His wallet's not going to be
His
happy.
wallet's
Yeah.
not going to be happy.
I make sure even whenever I go to Pullman, I know it's hard to hit a home run out of there. I make sure to park as far in the outfield past the fence as I can, because I don't want to come back someday and my car be dented.
I'll say this, you've been to Lower Door where Knoch plays softball games. That parking lot's pretty big. I mean, it's not like there's like one row of cars or spots like right beyond the outfield fence. That parking lot's pretty big. So the coaches, if you want to unload the equipment and then pull your car like 500 more yards beyond the outfield fence, you'd probably be smart in doing that, because the girls, not just in batting practice, but in the game as well.
Yeah.
The funniest, and this was not funny for the person who this happened to, but the funniest baseball hits car moment I've ever seen was at a West Perry baseball game in Elliotsburg, which is like in the mountains of central Pennsylvania, in Cumberland County, or just outside Cumberland County. Pickup truck parked with its rear facing towards the baseball field. They have a domed backstop, like one of those ones that arches instead of being like straight up and angled. And kid hits a foul ball, and you knew it off the bat it's going to hit someone's car. It hits the back window of that truck, and you know how glass in cars is shatterproof. It's that like plastic that's not going to splinter into or shatter into shards and be really sharp. The thud that it made straight into the center of that back window was unlike anything I've ever heard in my life, and the ball stopped dead. It wasn't like it went through it and kind of like rolled into the back of the truck. It just goes poof, and then right into the truck bed. And
Perry County.
Everyone just kind of looks at the truck and it's just like, ooh, and the guy comes walking over. Like he was, I think he gave himself a second to collect his thoughts before he just like started crying or throwing a fit about it, but parked right in the line of fire.
I went to school with a couple guys from Harrisburg. At one time, they were good friends of mine, and they said out that way there are Perry County jokes, just like there are West Virginia jokes here. So can you attest to that? You worked out that way.
It is the way you have to get to it from Carlisle was literally to, and it's, I say mountain, it's, you know, a hill. It's not Everest or something like that, but you got to go up and over this mountain. And as soon as you get to the backside of that mountain, you have no signal at all. So we know if we were covering a game out there, you will not hear, like, to the editor, if I'm going to a game, I'm telling whatever reporters behind that in the office, like, okay, here's the plan, or vice versa. If it was 3-4 hours, you wouldn't know if the game went to overtime. You wouldn't know if it went to extra innings. You wouldn't know if the person
crashed their car.
If they could crash. I was just going to say that. I went to a game one time, and there's this really sharp S-turn, and someone, probably a kid, was going way too fast, and I'm driving by, and their car is on its roof on the other side of the road, and cops are, you know, taking care of it, and tow trucks there and everything. There are some very good coaches and whatnot there that I interacted with for a few years, but it is as boonies as that area will get. And they got a lot of flack for it. I know that for sure. It was kind of neat, the football field, just the view that it had, because there's nothing else around it. It's kind of like Karn City's field or Monotuz field, where like you look out there, it's like that's a beautiful scene of like the Western PA mountains.
State game lands.
There are no human beings anywhere within a 5-mile radius of that direction. Like that was Elliotsburg. That's exactly what it was.
I'll be sure not to visit there.
I'm taking you next weekend, me and you.
I do not say any disrespect for the people of West Perry, but it was just an interesting locale.
I will actually be on vacation next week, but these two will be talking some swimming and wrestling all-stars.
Enjoy vacation. We'll miss you.
Bye-bye.
You will be missed.
Is this staycation?
Yes. I mean, we're going down to visit my dad next weekend, but other than that, staycation. We encourage you to subscribe to the Butler Eagle YouTube channel and Apple or Spotify podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Alter Eagle Podcast and at Butler Eagle News. Goodbye.